Okay, yes. Perfect. So I'm going to jump in with just a little quick motivation. We'll probably end a little bit early today. But you know what I really want to talk about is staying motivated in the summer, right? So staying motivated during the summer. First of all, the summer is hard, guys. So for most of us, right? I would say for most of us, schedules are different. I am definitely in summer mindset, just summer mode. That pool is calling me all day, every day. I just feel like that more relaxed, all that kind of feeling, vacations, barbecues, birthdays, right? Just the sunshine for me. I mean, it doesn't get late till 9:30 at night. I just am like in a different kind of mindset, more opportunities to eat and drink. Like people are doing parties and, all of that happens. And we really kind of feel like off our routine. And so it's just understandable, right? Especially for teachers, kids are off. It's just different kinds of schedules. So what we really want to do, you guys, is we want to take the pressure off, right? A little bit of what we were talking about earlier, Karen brought it up a little bit, is just like we want to get this idea of perfectionism out, right? And understand that there's a season for things and that our life cycles are seasonal as well, right? And one thing I do want to say is if you're in the season where some people do the opposite, they're like, summer's here. I don't have to be in my general schedule. That's when I can go all in. That's when I go all in for the self-care, right? And if that's where you are, understand that that's your season, go for it. But for most of us, and definitely including me, this season is where I need to take the foot off the brake a little bit. And it's okay to do that. And so I want to remind you that it is okay to do that. For me, like coming back into September, that's when I'm like, yeah, let's go. It's colder outside. I want to start really dialing it in. But you need to take the emotional stress off perfection, right? And understand that life is about seasonals. It's about enjoying life, right? But we need to take the pressure off a little bit without landsliding, right? We've got to get that mindset about understanding is that really what we always want to do is get away from this total 100% to total zero, 100% zero, 100% zero, right? That yo-yo, that extreme yo-yo is not healthy physically or emotionally. And that's what we want to stay away from. And when you understand that, you can take your foot off the gas a little bit, but you can still not landslide. You can still say that good enough is still good, right? Getting a 7, 8, 9, or 10 is an amazing score when we're checking in for fitness. It's an amazing score when you're checking in for fitness, especially in your summer season, right? A 20-minute workout counts. It counts. A walk counts. Protein at a meal is a win, right? And healthy choices don't have to be all day to matter, right? My favorite thing is an 80-20 lifestyle, right? 80% on, 20%, indulging or enjoying, I should say, right? If you can hit that on a really regular basis, think about it. 80% of it is a win and 20% of it is a little off. You should still be able to hit your goals. And here's what I want to remind you too. It's summer. I'm not pushing myself in major weight loss mode. I am in maintaining. I always remind you guys, people focus all the time on weight loss, weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. That's not the hard part. Maintaining weight loss is the hard part. That's the challenge. So if you are maintaining weight loss, you are winning. People put so much pressure all the time on weight loss. I should be losing weight. I should be losing weight. And look, it doesn't mean that you're at your goal weight. But if you are maintaining weight loss, you are winning. If your scale is holding, you're winning. I want you to look at that scale and be like, I'm winning. If you are not putting weight on, you are winning. And you have to remind yourself of that. right? So enjoy the ice cream, but not the whole pint, right? Enjoy the wine. Hello, my name is Kat, but not every night, right? Or a glass or two, not the whole bottle, right? And don't let one meal become 1 week, right? Consistency counts, you guys. Consistency count. Like, we don't need to be an Olympian to get that workout in. You just have to be consistent. You just have to show up. And you have to remember that most of your choices add up to create your results, not one thing, right? So that consistent action is what's going to create your results, not that one moment, right? So one thing I've often said to you guys, and you've heard it before, never miss more than 2. If you're worried about landsliding, this was something that I came up with years ago, and it really helped me. Never more than 2, right? So if I'm going to miss one workout, that's fine. A second, okay, but oh no, it doesn't matter what happens that next day, I'm getting a workout in. Doesn't matter what it looks like, it is happening. And if I am going to do, okay, 1 night of dessert, okay, 2, that's it. I'm done. Because never more than 2, right? After that, you're starting a landslide. You're going off, you're going to start a pattern that is not the pattern you want to get into. So never more than 2 really, really helps, right? So really put that in for you. And you want to create that normalcy of like never more than 2 days off, never more than 2 desserts, right? So make sure that you're thinking about that. And you want to reset quickly, right? So, and never more than 2 really helps you with that, right? So say you have a night and you're like, oh man, I just went to town on whatever that was. You're going to say to yourself, all right, that is okay, but we're getting it back in because we never do more than 2. And that will help you interrupt the landslide, right? It's about getting back quickly. So, people really have such a negative connotation about coming back on Monday, right? But I don't really share that feeling. I think that's kind of a great reset, right? So it doesn't. Now, here's the cautionary thing I will say. Where people really screw that up is they'll be like, okay, they hit Thursday, right? Or for me, it was always Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon, I'm like, okay, training wheels off, skid marks coming in. Like, we are just going to go nachos, pizza, drinking, all the things, right? That's not what I'm saying. Because I would say to myself, oh, I'll pick it back up on Monday. Well, now between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you've undone all the hard work you've done through the week, right? But what I will say to myself is, I'm going to enjoy my weekend. I put a plan around it. I know the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to eat in 80-20, right? I'm going to hit those workouts. But on Monday, I am going to dial it in. Monday, I'm going to crush Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is usually how I'm doing it, right? Those I'm going to crush. And then Friday, I start easing up a little bit, but I don't landslide. So I think it's okay to say, you know what? I'm going to relax a little bit this weekend. I'm going to enjoy myself this weekend. And then Monday, I'm going to crush it. And then you show up on Monday with that mindset of like, let's get it back together, not for punishment, not because you're trying to undo everything you did this past weekend or so that you can go and binge on the weekend, but so that you can just really lock it back in and feel really good again. Because I want to remind you, the reason we do fitness, the reason we do nutrition is to feel great, right? So because we all know when you're locked in like that, when you get those workouts in, you get that nutrition dialed in, you feel different. You get that sleep locked in, you feel great. You show up as your best self in every part of your life. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to show up on Monday and lock it in so that we can feel our best, not to punish ourselves, right? Not to deprive ourselves, but to feel amazing. So we lock it in on Monday and we're going to crush it through the week. Thursday, relax a little. Friday, if you've got a party to go to, know what you're going to do and enjoy it, right? And so, and the big thing that you want to, on Monday is say, I'm not coming back from chaos. I'm just locking it in so I can feel good, right? You don't want to come to Monday coming back from chaos, right? One of the things you really want to watch, if you're going to take your foot off the gas a little bit, is impulse eating. So I want you to say to yourself, look, I'm going to take my foot off the gas a little bit. I'm going to relax, but I'm going to be very aware of impulse eating, right? That's the eating that's that uncontrollable, mindless eating. I think you guys remember this story, but I love this story more than anything. And I'll get to a quick version of it. But when Charlotte was very young, I took her out of another preschool because she was bawling every day. My heart was breaking. I fought hard to get her into another preschool. And we just went into that preschool on Monday, and I walk in and there's this dumpy, heavyset teacher, and I'm the young mom who has this ideal version of what the perfect, preschool teacher should look like. And she's like Polly perfect. And I was like, oh shit, what did I do? I took worse from bad to worse. Right. And Miss Linda, I will never forget her. So Charlotte's MO was she showed up and she said, oh, here we go. This is what I do. I cry when I get here. Right. And Miss Linda got down and looked her right in the eyes. And she just said, oh, we don't do that here. I'll never forget it. Charlotte just right there, boop, stopped crying and went right over to play in the kitchen. And it was so amazing. It was the most power. It was like the stormtroopers in the, these are not your droids. You know what I mean? There was just like the mind trick, and it was so great. So I want to remind you, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. We don't do impulse eating here. We don't do uncontrollable eating here. We're mindful, right? So if you feel yourself going for that impulse eating, there's some things I want you to do. First of all, I want you to pause 60 seconds. Pause just for a minute. You have to pause before you go into that bag of whatever it is, right? And then, to pick one from Mel Robbins, count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will give you back that control so fast. It's amazing how fast you can get to the bottom of a bag of chips, right? Like I'm impressive in that one. Let me tell you, I can almost do it before a count of 5. So if I stop and count to 5, what I do is, I do that very differently. I still have the chips, but now they are out of the bag in a bowl, and I am controlling how much I'm eating. It is not impulse eating anymore, right? And I ask yourself, am I hungry, bored, or stressed? Hungry, bored, or stressed? Which one is, right? And then you have to figure out how you're going to choose to handle that. Because first of all, with stress eating, that pisses me off. I don't do that anymore because that gives that other person the power. And I am not giving my power away to that other person. That boss, that person who pissed me off, that troll. Oh no, she's not going to win today. She does not win today. So when I say to myself, am I hungry, bored, or stressed? If it's stressed, I am immediately saying, no, she does not win. That other person does not win that battle. I win. And if I'm bored, then I will walk around the block. I literally will walk out the door, walk around the block. Boy, that will change it fast, right? So you want to just recognize what it is. Drink water first. Drink water first, to have a good glass of water, and then you'll do great. Protein first, protein. So here's one thing I will say. This is something I've shared with you guys before, and I haven't said it in a long time. I don't ever, ever, ever go into my pantry or my fridge and say, what do I want? Because boy, I'll be doing whippets with Karen in the kitchen real fast. Like that's what do I want? I want to let's go, So like, I don't ever go into those places and say, what do I want? And this is part of the reason I love tracking, right? With the macros, is because I can look at that and it will literally tell me what I'm missing for the day. What I need. What do I need? Oh, I need fiber. Let me figure out what I'm going to have. I need protein. Let me figure out what I'm going to have. And if you have protein first, protein, guys, will really help you stay satiated. So protein is a really important part of that, right? And then you make the healthy choice. Also, we all know prep is the winner. Prep, right? You've got to have a couple things. My stress snack, right? My stress snack has not changed for years. It is a rice cake with peanut butter and banana. And if I don't have the rice cake, literally just peanut butter and banana. Literally put peanut butter right. For me, it is like dessert. It will kick out any craving I have so fast. You've got to find out what that is for you. And it's got to be available at all times, ready to go for you so that you can reach for that first. And do not freaking pretend for a second that a carrot's going to cut it, because it ain't. So don't pretend. If I'm at the point where I'm about to down 2 Twix bars and a freaking Snickers, but instead I'm going to have a banana rice cake and peanut butter, I'm going to my freaking carbs and I'm not worried about it. Because if that's going to take care of business, and that's exactly how I do that, Karen. So that was actually a great question. I will go over my carbs and be like, I don't care. That choice is better than me downing that bag of Tootsie Rolls or that, the Girl Scout cookies that are in the freezer. That is a choice that I'm making, and that is a good choice. Turning point. I call it the turning point.
Yeah.
The other thing I've seen, which I don't know how true this is, and it's probably particular to certain candies, but they have shown, have you guys seen those studies where like they show what the ingredients used to be? Not even different between America and other countries. It's kind of wild, kind of wild. Like and now you can make your own versions of things at home and it's healthier and tastes better. What a great share, ladies. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So yes, prep is key. And again, I'm not going to beat myself up for making a healthier choice, even if I'm over in carbs or, whatever, because I'm not downing, 700 pounds of, canola oil. So yay us. Yay. I love that. I love that we're there, right? That is an amazing win. Let's talk about counting our wins, you guys. That's a win. Those are wins. So absolutely amazing. So, here's some other things, and we'll wrap up. But let me say in the nicest way possible, lower your standards. Lower your standards, right? Like, I mean, I don't normally push for that, but I want to remind you that we're just normal. So like if you're in a summer mode right now, but you can't do an hour of a workout, do 45 minutes or even 30, right? Just remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can't meal prep for an hour like you normally have time for. Buy rotisserie chicken. It's not perfect. It's definitely going to have more oil and butter, but it's not, a McDonald's. It's not McDonald's crappy chicken nuggets or whatever, right? So and again, like in terms of prioritizing your macros, like you can't hit them perfectly, prioritize protein. Make sure you're hitting that protein in, right? So just make success easier for you. Make success easier. Lower your standards, but don't put them through the floor, right? And again, like think about like your identity of who you are. Really take a minute and like when I just said we don't do that here, right? We all of us, I know, share your identity of I work out, right? So lean into that identity, right? I'm a woman who takes care of myself. That's my identity. It's so lean into your identity. If you're having troubles getting motivated, think about the person you are. Who am I as a person? What's my identity that I take? I work out every day. It doesn't mean that I have to do 1-arm push-ups that day, but healthy women don't quit just because it's July, right? I'm a healthy woman. And I don't need to be a size 2 to be healthy, right? So we're just going to adjust within within those parameters, right? And we're allowed to enjoy what we're doing, right? So positive thinking, guys, is a huge part of what we're going to do together. Positive thinking. So instead of thinking what I can't do, what can I do? What can I do today? Right? Instead of thinking oh, I can't do this workout. I can't walk outside because it's too hot. What can you do? Focus on the positive parts of that. What can I do? What did I accomplish today? Right? I drank my water. I picked up heavier weights. I got into my workout, right? Here's something that's really, really important that I want everyone to open your ears and open your heart for. I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I happy right now? Am I happy right now? So when you are thinking, we really let a diet, nutrition, the size of our pants steal our joy all the time, right? And I'm sorry, you guys, but that's bullshit. That is ridiculous. If you think about that, right? Cheryl, she's like, she knows Kat's getting fired up. Like, why are we going to give that away to something as stupid as that? Because like if we are fortunate to be happy, you are winning. And to sit and enjoy when you go to the movie, I don't know, I love a movie in the summer, right? And I want you to know, when I go to the movie, I'm getting buttered popcorn and Twizzlers. And that's what I'm having. Now, I used to eat like the whole bucket twice, and I used to eat the entire pack of Twizzlers. I don't do that anymore. But I enjoy that. I enjoy that moment. And I'm not going to let some stupid diet take that away from me, right? If I am enjoying time in the pool, having drinks, and I am not going to sit there and guilt myself that I'm having drinks on a Wednesday night if I want to go in there on a Wednesday night, right? I'm going to enjoy that time. I am not going to be that person at the table, you guys. When you go out with friends, family, right? And they are eating whatever they're eating and you are enjoying whatever you're enjoying. Maybe you've decided to have Kentucky Fried Chicken that day, right? Then enjoy it. Don't sit there and punish yourself and make your life miserable because you are having a time of enjoyment in the summer. You've gone camping and now you're going to have s'mores. Please do not enjoy those. Enjoy it. Don't have 10. Enjoy one, but really take a minute. Like s'mores take me back to, fires outside with my family. And I am not going to miss that moment for some stupid idea that I am going to look different in a bathing suit, or for some stupid idea that I'm not counting my macros correctly today. I'm not doing that. So I challenge you to enjoy your life. Enjoy this summer. If you're lucky, you get 80 summers. I don't know about you. I'm about to turn 60. That means I got 20 summers left. Not in a bad way, in a wonderful way. But I'm going to enjoy those summers. I'm going to make those summers count. And when I'm 70, 75, I'm not going to be looking back at like how tight my pants were. What I am going to be thinking about is, oh my God, you remember when we were all sitting around and sharing stories and we had s'mores and they were so good. And oh my God, you remember 4th of July and I had those hot dogs. Oh my God, that was so great. I went to the county fair and I had freaking deep fried Oreos. But more than just the food, I'm going to enjoy my experiences, right? So don't make it just about the food, but what are the experiences you're having? Who were you with? What were you spending time with? What were you talking about? Lingering in time with Ted, right? Hugging Ted or hugging Charlotte and really being in those moments. Not thinking about my stupid weight, what I look like in a freaking bathing suit. Because the photos that count are the ones of the memories that I'm making. And that's what counts. So it is summer, right? So what is the summer that we want to look like? What does the summer look like? Not listen carefully, not what do I look like? What does this summer look like for us? What's the joy we're going to bring for the summer? Right? And you know what? Maybe it's a little fluffier. I'm okay with that. We just don't want a landslide, right? We don't want a landslide because coming back from that goes into that negative spiral. And we all know what we talk about all the time is that cycle of self-love, right? Where you are getting your workouts in. That helps you stay on your nutrition. You want to stay in the cycle. That fitness helps with your nutrition. It helps with your stress. It helps with your mindset, right? Doing it for the right reasons, getting that good sleep, enjoying healthy food to fuel your body, doing that personal development, spending time in community with Catback, enjoying that all, right? That is the stuff that will keep you on that positive cycle, that will keep you in that positive, happy cycle, right? So that's really where we need to be. So I really just want to memories. I'm sorry, I'm catching up on the chat. Yeah. About being scared, I'm going to landslide. So here's what I want to say to you, Karen. Change your identity. I don't do that. I don't landslide. I want you to trust yourself. I want you to trust that that's not who you are anymore. Just trust. Really shift that identity. You're going to be great on growth day. Go do some identity work on growth day, but only on that, right? Not on all the other stuff, but just on that I just don't landslide. I don't do that anymore. That's really would be powerful. And you're not alone, Karen. I totally that. Yes, Sandy, I love it. Change it. I'm going to be healthy. Yep. I'm a sugar addict. Let's try to change that. I love sugar. You can say that. I love sugar, but but I don't landslide anymore. That's kind of a great identity, right? You don't have to change, your entire persona, but saying like, hey, I love sugar, but in smaller amounts, I'm in control. I'm in control. Control is a great thing. People a lot of times have a bad, negative connotations with control. I love control. I love being in control. It gives me it gives me stability, right? I'm a little bit of a control freak, right? And so I think that's not a bad thing. No one is normal. We're all different. Normal is boring. Exactly. Oh my God. My mother used to say that. It was so great. My birth mother, as you guys know, bipolar, totally batshit crazy. But when we were younger, she was a great mom, and she used to be like, normal. Who wants to be normal? No one's like you. You're the only one in the whole universe. How cool is that? I was like, yeah. But, and it is about controlling it and being in control of it, but also just switching your identity. It's that's the big thing, the identity shift. For me, that identity shift is I don't landslide anymore. I don't do that anymore. I work out almost every day. I'm a woman who works out. I eat healthy. I love to eat healthy, right? Doesn't mean I don't enjoy my wine, but I'm in control of that, right? And I sure do enjoy it, right? I mean, Karen, you know me, and there are times where I'm like, I got to dial that back. Girl, I'm like drinking almost every night. Like it's time to get it together, And there are times where, but I just catch that. I'm like, okay, it's time to get that back together, And it doesn't make me, I'm not a bad person. It's just, a habit I have to get back together. So, yeah. But I love that. And so anyway, I just want to remind you guys, like summer's here. Let's make it a memorable one in a beautiful way. Let's do fun things. Let's take care of ourselves and feel healthy and feel happy and feel joy, and do the things so that we can really enjoy this summer and make it count in the most positive way while we take care of our health, while we get in the bathing suit and do all the things, but also, taking care of our stress levels and everything else so that we can really be happy, and make it a memorable, amazing summer. So, all right, let me get a quick photo if you guys don't mind. Thank you all for being here tonight. I adore you ladies. Oh my God, this is so dirty. Hold on. You all were very blurry a second. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yay. I love you all. Let's have an awesome, awesome day. Thank you for always being a part of my joy. And I'll drop this recording and I will talk to you very soon. Mwah.